Hello, this is The Harboring Light. I'm Mary. I give a conservative perspective about the world around me. So, feedback is greatly important. And now what I've done, since Spreaker, unfortunately, I appreciate everything, but it's a YouTube thing where it's not allowed. I still appreciate YouTube. And anyway, it's one of those things that happens with the upgrades, and I can no longer push to publish my speaker episodes on there, so I have to manually do this. So you can find my content, even my old episodes. All you have to do is click on a podcast, and you can see all my old episodes, and it's updating the feed daily, so you can all the way to it'll eventually get up there to the current. But what I'm doing right now, if you want a movement background, and I have a theme for October, and I'm going to do a theme for November for, Thanksgiving and all the events that happen in November that, themed Thanksgiving and other events, for the month of November, and then December too. I will have those for my videos, so you can get all the current videos. All right, so mentioning that YouTube is a great platform, so is Spreaker, and on all the platforms that I'm on are Spreaker, including Spreaker. I'm on Spotify, Pandora, and I'm on Deezer, and just to name a few. And I'm looking to grow to where I'm on all of the audio platforms, but I'm just naming a few. And then YouTube. And I'm mentioning all this about YouTube so you can understand, and please fill those comments because it's greatly appreciated, and it helps with the development of the podcast. All right, so this episode is centering around Hungary, the food of Hungary. And I appreciate all the listeners out there that are from Hungary. And I'm going to center around food that is eaten particularly for the fall season, instead of just saying, because Halloween isn't a thing as far as a celebration. And, that's with the fundamental staple to understand about different cultures, just all cultures don't translate with one another. So that being said, I'm going to center around foods that are typically eaten in the fall in Hungary. All right, so here we go. Let's dig in and listen up. Okay, so before I get into all of the content, I just like for y'all to know, on YouTube specifically, if any of y'all out there found my content because it was suggested through some Dirty Bird content, you know what I mean, X-rated content, please let me know, because I'm already flagging them down and getting it off my suggestions, and that's a big effort. So I would appreciate it to let me know that. And that's not what my content is about. It's unfortunate with the algorithm with YouTube. I don't know, but let me know. And it's one of those things to think about too, to add on to the conversation. It might be one of those things to try and keep down or cancel out conservative voices as myself and others out there, as J.P. Spears said it best, great with his great content. With freedom fighters out there, anyway, can't keep us down. All right, so here we go. also appreciate listeners out there from Hungary, and specifically I remember some from Budapest, other parts. So with that being said, and when you get the aspects of food with the traditions that come with eating food in the fall, I think it's nice to also bring that tied back to the American root and how Americans eat food, particularly in the fall, as the aspects of what is thought about fall foods. And so when you go to think about things in the aspects of soups, things in the aspects of desserts like pies or breads, and then you go into the aspects of marketing and advertising, and that's not appealing in every country, and that's quite interesting too. And I'm working on that, and the new year of breaking that down about the aspects of how advertisement is viewed in other countries, and then particularly parts that censor advertisement a lot. And it's unfortunate that in America it's prevalent that advertisement isn't what it used to be anymore. It's more of a weird sort of mesh of selling you something, but on the same time that getting to the realm of talking about something that should be between you and your doctor and something and so forth like that. And so it's nice to know to get another take about this, of how there's countries that protect takes those due diligence to protect things like that. And so, it's something to look at and think about. So getting back to the advertisement part, so it also brings culture. And the reason why I'm talking about that, it brings a culture with the types of foods, in America that are thought about traditionally eaten around the time of the fall. And the Campbell's brand is the most well-renowned to think of things like this. Me growing up in the 90s, and then before then in the 80s, other generations before me, and just prevalent that Campbell's soup would come out with new ways to get people to rethink about how soup can be nourishment, or how soup can be thought of as a meal, and then going on along the lines of how kids think about soup and all of these things. And then you get the backdrops of the different, for instance, the Campbell soup ad of the little boy coming, when you're merging in Christmas and winter, and then the aspects of the fall with other Campbell soup commercials, and then Campbell soup giving that heartfelt atmosphere that it's good. The aspect of getting along the lines that the soup, it warms you up. It's good. It's hearty. It's good. And so with that being said, jumping into the aspects of how food is eaten in other countries, particularly in Hungary in the fall, and how that is seen differently is interesting too. And again, it gives more of a depth and feel and appreciation for food when you have the opportunity and you have the great joy and that opportunity to travel. So I'm going to get right into this about the aspects of foods that are traditionally eaten in Hungary. And then I'm going to read off of, so I'm going to do two prongs with this one. I'm going to read off of the AI generation of what it said. And then I'm going to read an actual article of, foods from Hungary. All right, so here we go. Okay, so here is the AI generated answers. So it says, based on the provided results, here are some traditional Hungarian foods you might enjoy during the fall season. Chestnut puree, a popular dessert made from roasted chestnuts, sugar, and milk, often served warm during the fall. A crispy lengos. Those from Hungary, it would help to know about the pronunciation of that. And also, I can't stress enough, feedback. Feel free to let me know things. All the people who listen to me, and in particularly now I'm focusing in on this episode about Hungary. Your listeners from Hungary, let me know about what foods you like to eat in the fall and so forth. It'd be interesting to know, and that what you think about food and cuisine and so forth. All right, so it's a crispy deep fried flatbread, typically served with garlic, sour cream, and cheese, which can be enjoyed as a snack or side dish during the fall. It says a bean soup, a jokai bean soup. It says a hearty, comforting soup made with beans, vegetables, smoked pork, hock, and noodles. It's often served during the fall and winter months. So stuffed cabbage. I enjoy stuffed cabbage. It's really good. And then it's interesting because my husband and I, about 2 weeks ago, we made some stuffed cabbages. So a classic Hungary dish filled with ground meat, rice, and spices wrapped in cabbage leaves and slow cooked, perfect for a cozy fall evening. So fried cheese, a simple yet satisfying dish featuring fried cheese served with a side of bread and vegetables, often enjoyed during the fall season. And again, going back, with my husband and I, how all of these, it's give me that thought process of the beginning of America and then, of the modern America, and then people coming in and from into New York particularly, and setting their roots, and from other countries, and then all the rich, from Greek to Italian to Hungarian to Crete to all of these different Chinese, Indian, all these different nationalities coming in to start a new life, because at the forefront it was about the promise of a better life. Really, that's honestly what it was, and people were escaping the problems that they were facing in their country and hope for a better opportunity to really succeed. And it's unfortunate that that's falling to the wayside, and that's pushed now that's something that shouldn't be something that's prevalent for immigrants to come here to be inspired to work hard and build and innovate. That's something if you want to come here, no matter what your background is, it doesn't matter. Just come here and do whatever. And then trying to demonize the aspect of protection of border security, because, what country, what strong, stable country wouldn't want that, to have gatekeepers, or to, the right type of gatekeepers to protect and to serve. I mean, I don't know. But again, all of these different countries coming in and setting roots in America, it changes the cuisine, what it's thought to be, and it's just interesting how that evolves throughout time, and seen as American dishes, but the traditional roots come from somewhere else. That's interesting. So, all right, so thick stew. So it's a traditional Hungarian stew made with meat, vegetables, and paprika, which can be prepared with a variety of meats, including beef, pork, and chicken. All right, wheat soup. So a hearty, comforting soup made with wheat, vegetables, and sometimes meat or sausage, often served during the fall and winter months. And the last thing is a donut, a sweet treat often enjoyed during the fall season, typically filled with fruit, preservatives, or chocolate. All right, so now I'm going to read from Feather in the Wind. It's 20 plus delicious Hungarian foods worth traveling to Hungary for. All right, so cucumber salad is a common way to start a complement of a main Hungarian dish with a side of cucumber salad, thin slice of cucumbers, and marinated with white vinegar, served with fresh dill and sometimes topped with dollops of sour cream. Pickled veggies are popular in Hungarian cuisine. Okay, what, baby? It's customary to preserve the vegetables while they're in season so they can be enjoyed all year round. All right, fried cheese, and I already mentioned that. And then they go into how it's prepared. It says it's squared or triangles, and cheese are breaded with deep fried until crispy, and is served in a gooey tartar or mayo for dipping. All right, so sour cherry soup. So this is slightly sweet and popular with children, particularly in the summer when it's regularly prepared in the Hungarian households. Fisherman's soup. So thick slices of fresh water fish, often carped, simmered for hours, and fish stock made from scratch. All right, so cabbage rolls, and I was talking about that. So So this is part of Central and Eastern Europe. Cabbage leaves are stuffed with delicious mix of fillings like rice, minced meat, paprika, and sauerkraut. And hold on, to get egg noodle dumplings. Not quite, baby. So the egg noodles are very common to the German plate of and are popular complement for other Hungarian dishes like paprika, chicken, and pork lots. They say that it's usually with flour base and eggs, which is, quite common sense. Don't do that, sweetheart. It's common sense, because it's a dumpling. And so, eggs, salt, and water is passed through a grater-like device that separate the dough and shapes and noodles as they drop into boiling water. And so, cottage cheese noodles. So, cheesy pasta is a local favorite, needs to make it its way very popular to the Hungarian bucket list. And that's quite interesting because cottage cheese in itself has that very dense taste, and then adding cheese on top of it might be interesting mix to it. It kind of balances out that, because sometimes, for me personally, when eating cottage cheese, specifically if it's sweetened, sometimes it didn't have that nice balance between sweet and sour, and I think that might add an extra touch that it probably needs. That really catches my attention there. All right, so savory stuffed crepes. So it says that the usual filling of these pancakes consists of minced meat that has been prepared like stew with tomatoes, onions, and paprika. Each pancake is stuffed, rolled, and folded, and then baked. It's kind of reminding me of empanadas. Oh, well, it says, well, they go along the lines of saying enchiladas, but I don't know. It kind of gives me, but empanadas are more doughy pastry-like, so, I can see that why they're going along the lines of enchiladas instead of empanadas. But they actually look like large enchiladas, one of many Mexican food dishes. All right, so here we go. Paprika chicken. And paprika, the flavors, it gives a nice spice edge to food that's not overpowering if you do it right. So this is another classic, and like many Hungarian foods, it's heavily featured, beloved of paprika influenced in it. So bone-in chicken or pieces of chicken breast are cooked in a flavorful sauce and can vary in spiciness depending on the recipe. All right, so meat stew. It's a popular beef stew made with bite-sized chunks of boneless beef or pork that have been slowly simmering for hours in a sauce with onions and paprika. So it's like a goulash. And noodles with cabbage. It might not sound or look very appetizing, but it is underestimated with the buttery flavors of the cabbage pasta. So this is one of the simpler examples of Hungarian foods. Schnitzels. The schnitzels may have originated in Germany, but it is a dish. And I have some German listeners out there. I appreciate y'all too. And I already did a episode about Germany, and interested, you can check out that German episode. So it's a dish you'll like a lot on menus in Hungary as well. Chicken breast is pounded flat, then breaded and fried until crispy and delicious. Hungarian foods going along the lines of sweets and desserts. Chestnut puree, and I already said that. So they go into more details about it. So it's a cookie dough consistency, and it's mounted with a whip of cream. So cream, there's a lot of whipped cream on it. Neatly said. So, and it's rum and vanilla. That's nice. Add it to it. So, cake of Hungary. So this is the winning cake announced each August and then featured at bakeries nationwide after they signed an agreement stating that the cake would be made exactly as stated in the original recipe. That's quite interesting, having contests about that, how significant it is. Sweet crepes. So, it looks like a cake. It looks quite delicious. So it's a pancake style, but usually options for this Hungarian dish includes apricot jam, applesauce, hazelnut spread, and it's either rolled or folded and topped with an icing sugar. Chocolate sponge cake. So Hungarians desserts have 5 to 7 layers. They're known for that. That's what it's saying that is well known in Hungary. So layers of moist sponge cake and chocolate buttercream is topped, excuse me, a thin layer of caramel glaze that adds a bit of crunch to every bite. And this has been going on, this method, for 130 years. Wow. The tradition in that. And that's a lot to be said, too, about the aspect of keeping on to how what that says to the society And that what that says about a culture that holds on to the traditions, and they understand the aspect of how, well, where they came from, how that ventures them into the future, and how protecting that keeps them grounded and level. That's my point of view about it, about everything. They don't, they understand the aspects of pride and where their roots are, and then they won't be and that when you have that mentality, you won't be easily swayed by what's trendy and so forth. You have more of a, the easiest way to say that, you can think more critically, see things for what it actually is, no nonsense kind of person. So cheese biscuits. So this is also popular in the Balkan countries. These fluffy puffs are popular choice of appetizers when entertaining guests. So chimney cakes, and it says it's often debated, but it's a street food you'll see all over Hungary, especially during the winter months. So it is a sweet dough, and it's wrapped like a ribbon around the wooden split, and it coils. You put it in or in a special oven. So the Hungarian food has particularly been a favorite since the Middle Ages. And chimney cakes, because it's often referred to as chimney cakes because of its shape. So the dough tastes similar to a brioche, and popular toppings include cinnamon, walnut, vanilla, cocoa powder, and coconut. Fried dough. So a simple dough mixture, like pizza dough, is quickly deep fried outside and with crisp inside and soft. And it looks like it has a lot of sugar on it. It kind of looks like a really thick, hollowed out churro, sort of, to me, because how it just caramelized and all the sugar. And, I will have the source link for you if you'd like to see the pictures in this article. And you see, we're going to have they talk about different beers too, if you're interested in that, particularly Hungarian beer. And it goes, and they're saying they have ties with Germany too, with the aspect of that, saying generally the country is known for producing light lagers, but even the craft beer scene is emerging through Hungary. Oh, I'm sorry, I misread that. It's generally not German. I'm sorry. So they're talking about how, making more of an aspect of what is traditionally thought about beers, and nice to know about that little tidbit inside of what they're doing, and particularly in Budapest, and run bars dedicated to craft beers. And they also talk about wine too. It says notable wines of Hungary, but one is exclusive as the Hungarians, I think it's Asus. It's a sweet Asus wine, and it's a region star. This wine is made from grapes that has acquired noble root and are painstakingly harvested by hand, which helps explain the price tag. So with that being said, it's one of those things that is pricey, but it's a reason behind it. All right, so this reaches the end of the Harboring Light. And of course, on Sunday, I will have another episode, Messages in the Bottle, for all you listeners out there who support my channel. Thank you so much. All right, tune in, turn up, and absolutely take care. Bye-bye now.